Hi, I'm Jason Carter, and I am sick and tired of the Cowboys not getting any respect in this nation.
And I'm Stephen McCollum, and I'm sick and tired of this world going crazy with all these sports issues coming out today.
Main Event Podcast, it's next.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
You have fun at the game?
Oh, yeah, it was so exciting. They scored the winning hit right at the buzzer.
I think he wants to come inside Utley.
He doesn't always go down.
Got a very pure art to that stroke, isn't it? Yeah, it's one to copy.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
Put your testicles in the C gap.
Welcome to the Main Event Podcast, episode number 38. Jason Carter along with Steve McCullum.
Hello.
And thank you for listening out here. We are listening. We are on iTunes, Podbean, and Spotify. So make sure you download, rate, share, support, do all that kind of fun stuff. Also hit us up on Facebook at the Main Event Podcast and on Twitter. You can find us at the Main Event Pod. And you can find me individually on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram at JasonCarter03 and Steven at
SMAC500.
And that, of course, is on all three platforms. As we are recording this on a Friday, gonna get you pumped down on Saturdays when you'll probably be hearing this bright and early for your morning commute to wherever the hell your wife is dragging you to tomorrow.
Home Depot. Maybe Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know if there'll be time.
Well, what do you do during Christmas season?
I don't know.
You know, unless you're like shopping for the kids, you gotta like, hey kids, we gotta take you to grandma's for 3 hours. That's what my mom and dad always did, like during the Christmas shopping season.
I'm going to assume like kids' sports and kids' activities are still taking control right now. You know what I mean? 'Cause like now everything's like finishing up. You know, like tomorrow I got the cheerleading thing, so for Ireland. But like I think the kids thing is still kind of taking over right now. Like another week, I think maybe you'll start seeing. Cause we're not even into December yet.
Well, there's no more Pee Wee football, right?
I think it ended. That's what I'm saying. Or it's ending this weekend, right? Like all the cheer and all that stuff. I mean, she still has practices and stuff, but this is the big competition weekend. And,
Competition.
you know, and like softball and all that stuff, that the fall, you know, stuff. I think that's wrapping up this weekend or next weekend, and then it'll kind of go into that.
Well, it's also different for us in Arizona because the weather's pretty much great during the day, and we played baseball all year long here, so.
Yeah, so I think
solid.
that's more of it, but, you know, you didn't get my
I got your old school reference.
Okay,
yes.
all right.
Yes, Steve, I got your old school reference.
If I have to explain it, it's not as funny.
Yeah, you didn't. You made that unfunny by you asking me if I got your reference. Actually,
no, there's like no reaction whatsoever, so I was concerned there.
Well, I knew you were talking about it.
I was wondering if we needed to go. Watch Old School real quick.
No, I'm good. I watched Daddy's Home 2 this week, so I'm all Will Ferrell movie out for the week.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I can only take him in like rations. Can't go full effect right there.
But he doesn't. I haven't seen it, so for other reasons, and I'm still torn. Like I just don't know if I'm going to be able to.
It's good.
No, I'm not saying it's not.
It's a funny movie.
I'm not saying it's not. It's a sensitive subject sometimes. Jason.
It's a funny movie
coming up.
I mean, John Cena's in it, so that kind of brings it down. But you know, it's good.
By the way, I got some info today from the kids that we'll talk about off air.
Oh, nice.
So
why bring it up now?
That's gonna
kind of weird spot to bring it up there.
That's gonna hinder me watching Daddy's Home 2.
Oh, y'all take what you want from that conversation. Let's move on and talk about what happened last night. Steve, all week long I was telling you, man, I think the Cowboys have a chance. This defense, they're an elite defense. And all week long, Steve said there is not a chance in hell that the Cowboys beat the Saints. Well, Steve, what happened last night?
I made an awesome dinner last night.
Oh, dinner was phenomenal.
Well, you grilled. I made the awesome sides. I don't know, Jason.
That shrimp was good.
I've blocked it completely out of my head. What happened last night?
Well, the Dallas Cowboys beat up on the New Orleans Saints.
Can you say beat up on when it's 13-10?
The score didn't show how lopsided that game was. That touchdown that the Saints did score late, you know, like what it was about 6 minutes left in the fourth. One, I mean, Randall Gregory got into the kicker, trying to like miss a chop block apparently. Two, there's that offsides call or neutral. Like they called him offsides, but I mean I don't know. I saw the picture today on that. Like there's two potential calls that Randall Gregory went against Randall Gregory. I was like, oh my gosh, Gregory, did you like smoke a bowl at halftime? Like what are you doing here, bro? And I mean the offsides one, I was kind of like, the ref and the kicker totally get it. Like he totally plowed into the kicker. Whether you're trying to say you're trying to miss a chop block or not, like you ran into the kicker. So I mean I get get that rule. I mean, the offsides one, I could have gone without that because he's literally been lined up like that every game. Nor did he flinch or make a move. Like, he literally waited till the ball was snapped. But they said his helmet was over the ball, which, I don't know, it was close. I mean, I've seen worse than that, but whatever. But they pulled out.
So you're picking out the two pretty good calls against the Cowboys as questionable calls.
Oh, I'm not saying there aren't like any questionable calls. I mean, there's a lot of questionable
The
calls.
Saints got round around screwed. They lost their best running back for a few plays to a concussion because obvious targeting going on that gets called every other week of the year, and the refs standing right there were like,
Kamara knelt down. He knelt down.
Doesn't matter.
He leaned with his crown.
Does not matter.
Hey, there was a face mask too on Dak Prescott that final drive.
I know, but my point is you can't pick out two defensive.
Well, no, I
things
wasn't picking out those plays. I'm just saying, like, it was more lopsided than what it was. If it wasn't for those calls, that drive wouldn't have kept going, and the Cowboys, probably would have been up 20-3.
So
iced the game off that way. So
and I talked to you about this before the game. So like the only reason I didn't think the Cowboys, could do it was simply because, short week, Thursday night game, you go with the home team, which was the Cowboys. But both teams played on Thanksgiving, so I thought it gave the Saints enough time to rebound. The one thing is I told you the blueprint. I was talking to you, and I told you the blueprint to beat the Saints is to keep the ball out of Drew Brees' hands. I just didn't think the Cowboys would be able to do it. And they did it. So I was even surprised by that,
Well, it wasn't like that. I mean, yeah, they controlled the clock, but I mean, 2, 3 and outs the Saints had their first two possessions?
Well, and then they went for it on that fourth down at, the 1 yard line, 2 yard line.
Yeah, didn't make it.
Didn't make it. So, but that's early in the game. When you're on the road like that for a big game, that whole first, couple drives, 2, 3 drives are, basically, I don't know, whatever drives, where you go out there, try to get your nerves off, and then you settle down. We kind of differed on that fourth down play because I said it was a good call because the Saints are assuming they're going to score 30 points in the game at that point because that's what they do.
And I said on the road, you got to take the points, and
they lost by 3.
What they do? Lost by 3. So don't.
Which goes against everything I say when it comes to football too, because I'm like, don't go for 2 in the third quarter, because you're going to be chasing those points. And so in this game, I'm like, go for it.
You got this. You got Kamara. Come on.
Literally everything I stand against. Like I'm so conservative football coach guy, and all of a sudden last night I turned into Madden football guy. Right?
We gotta put the pressure on him right now.
4th and 1 on the 20 on your 20. Just go for it. So no, it was a good game by the Cowboys. They're stepping up. Obviously the Redskins are right there still, so we'll see.
So I'm torn on this Monday Night Football game that we have coming up this week. We'll do our picks later, obviously, but it's the Eagles against the Redskins. And the Eagles are now, if they lose, they'll be 2 games back. If they win, they'll be 1 game back. And then the Cowboys have the Eagles next week. I mean, the Redskins have Colt McCoy, so I'm not too much worried about the Redskins right now anymore, moving on with the season. So I just don't. And now there's a lot of turmoil going on over there now, too, with some questionable decisions making this week. So I don't know who I want to win on Monday.
I don't think that turmoil is going to affect the team at all. I think that's just ownership being stupid. But tone deaf. So that's the big debate, right? So as a Cowboys fan, leading the division, and Redskins are right behind you because they haven't played this week yet. So if they win, you're tied, but you have the tiebreaker, right?
Right.
Have they played twice?
Yeah.
So they have.
Thursday was our second time.
So Cowboys
we
have the tiebreaker?
We split it with them, and we get the tiebreaker off of them because we won by a whopping load of
Now,
points.
the Eagles don't look good. So the question mark, right, is are the Eagles going to do that championship, just, flip it on, and then just go on a tear here these last, 5 games? If I was in your shoes, I would say you're rooting for the Eagles because you want the Redskins. Even though they have Colt McCoy, you cannot count on the Redskins taking a dive with Colt McCoy. It's NFL football.
Right.
Colt McCoy, sometimes the backups are better because you don't have film on them.
I really wanted the Giants to win last week. Almost did it for me. That would have made me feel better about pulling for the Eagles this week. So
I would say you're rooting for the Eagles this week because the chances of the Eagles going on a run and being a threat are less than the Redskins going on a run.
Especially when they have to go on the road after Monday night and play the Cowboys on Sunday. So
Oh, yeah, because then you can finish it off there if you just do your business. Right. So, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know the rest of the Eagles' schedule. I'm just going off of just you kind of want your immediate threat to go away immediately, even though, like I said, you can kind of go and say Colt McCoy's not going to do anything and they're going to start sucking. But you can't say that in the NFL because we've seen backup quarterbacks, Kurt Warner, what's his name in Minneapolis?
Who's it now? Cousins. Kirk Cousins. But
like when Sam Bradford went down and
Case
Keenum went on that run, the Broncos year with Peyton Manning. So you always have that backup that can just surprise you for 5 games and go on a tear, because it's only 5 games left. So I would say if I was in your shoes, I'd say I go Eagles on that one.
All right. Well,
rooting for the Eagles. I mean, we're making our picks later. I'm just going off of the, whatever deal on that. So. Yeah, so Cowboys aren't getting any respect, huh? Because I heard a lot of national guys pick the Cowboys, and I was laughing.
Hey, we're not picking them yesterday.
I was laughing at Dan Patrick. I was laughing at Mike Greenberg.
There were a few guys who knew. Like Greeny, Dan Patrick, my other boy at ESPN, the country little blumpkin over there. What's his name? Has his own show. Always goes at it with Stephen A. Not Max.
The guy, the lawyer guy.
We were listening to a show today. I can't even think of his name right now.
Kane.
Yeah.
Will Kane. He's a lawyer. He's from Texas, too.
Yeah, Will Kane. Right? He knew I was up. Other than that, I mean,
he was
Troy Aikman, he was told by Jerry Jones, don't root against the family anymore. So Troy Aikman, he had to go for the Cowboys. And he had Michael Irvin, who was in the house last night with NFL Network, all about them Cowboys. Great celebration from Michael Irvin last night, too. They had the whole 93, not all the 93 team there, but
because they put
most of the team there.
Because they put Gil in the Hall of Fame?
Yep.
Gil Brandt, right?
Gil Brandt went into the Hall of Fame.
So he put together that 93 team, I'm assuming?
Yeah. Well, he put together a lot of teams.
I know.
It wasn't just the 93 team.
Yeah, but that was the most spectacular team, right? I mean, that was the most dominating team of all of them. So, I didn't see any of that stuff last night. I was preoccupied cooking and stuff. But, I don't know. I think... But you can understand how the Saints are the best team in football.
I totally get that.
So you can understand why people were... I mean, I just didn't think... If it would have been a normal Thursday night game where the Saints are coming off a short week, and going on the road, I told you I would have been all down this. Just that the week-long layoff... the Saints going in there, they're rolling everybody, they're trucking everybody. So like the conversation today was, did the Cowboys give the league? The whole league knows how to stop a high-powered offense. It's being able to do it.
You just gotta have the right players to do it. And the Cowboys, I mean, don't sleep on their defense,
Who's
guys.
Who's that 56 guy that is a
55?
55?
Leighton Vander Esch, first-round pick out of Boise State, doing big things. Not only...
He's like, what, 7 feet, 300 pounds?
Dude, he's huge.
I know. It's like he towers over he took down a lineman last night, and it was like, whoa, what the?
Like Vander Esch, he has stepped up big in Sean Lee's absence, which, I mean, you got to know happens every year, which is why they drafted Vander Esch so high in the draft this year. But that dude's a beast. And not only is he a beast, but he also wears that neck roll, which is like old school.
Old school, yes.
I love I mean, it's a newer school neck roll, but it's old school. And he plays like an old school freaking just dude.
Who was the big linebacker that did that? Romanowski?
Yeah. But the difference is that you can actually talk to Vander Esch, and he's all smiles after the game, where Romanowski is just always instantly pissed off at something.
Because Romanowski was coming off his roid rage, so his cycling after a game, so...
But Vander Esch, he's corn-fed. They got the Boise bus, always drives in from, he has his own bus that drives to every game. Yeah.
I was impressed.
The Vander Esch Express.
That just tells me Sean Lee's days in Dallas are almost over.
And imagine when they get Sean Lee back. The defense isn't going to get worse, so they're going to get better. And then you got the offensive line that...
And they were without their left tackle last
without Tyrone Smith.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this team, they're looking good and making a good run here coming up late. So we'll see how things go. Go Cowboys. Way to make me proud last night. I was happy.
Yeah, you were happy. No doubt about that.
Definitely happy. Anyways, headlines today. Big headlines today that we have. If you want to get into them. Big news just dropped about, an hour ago?
Yeah, if you want to discuss that.
Yeah, I guess we can discuss that. I mean, why not? So the big news coming out of Kansas City.
This game.
So the big news coming out, obviously, of Kansas City is Kareem Hunt has been released out of Kansas City. Obviously, that's not the bigger news. The bigger news coming from that is the reason why he got released was actually a whirlwind day for Kareem Hunt, as a video did surface from a February incident. TMZ published a video just today of this incident happened back in February, showing Kareem Hunt shoving and kicking a woman in Georgia.
Of all places.
And, it's just something that, you shouldn't take it lightly. NFL doesn't take it lightly. We don't take it lightly out here. I mean, obviously, you should never put your hands on a woman or hit a woman. I will say this, though. And it might get a little backlash, but whatever. Just because a video does surface does not make it new evidence. And I always feel like there's always this knee-jerk reaction when it comes to this, like the Ray Rice stuff. Like, we knew the Ray Rice stuff was pretty bad. The video was like, oh my God. But we knew what we had with the Ray Rice incident.
Video always makes it worse. Because you can, when you get a description, in your mind, you don't make it because you don't want to, you almost can't think of how bad it would be, right? So when you see the video, it actually is pretty shocking. But the NFL has to overreact at this point, if it's an overreaction, because of the Ray Rice situation. I mean, they've been investigating this since February, right?
Yeah.
So they've been investigating it. The story I read was that, they couldn't get the video. And then, like I expressed to you a little bit ago, is how the heck does TMZ get all this video that nobody else can get? Like, what do they do? They pay for it? I'm sure the NFL was willing to pay for it, right?
No, that's what's so crazy. Like, TMZ gets this stuff, they bring it out first, and it's like, have you guys been sitting on this since February? Like, did you figure today or what?
Yeah, the story is that the NFL was told, the hotel said that they don't give out, because it happened in Cleveland. The NFL, the hotel said they don't give anything except for the law enforcement. Law enforcement wouldn't give it to the NFL. And the story is that the NFL couldn't get their hands on it. Nobody could get their hands on it. And then, today it just comes out of nowhere. Out of left field, right? Because we were out doing errands and whatever. Literally, this went down in a span of 2 hours?
Yeah, so I saw on Twitter first, Busted Coverage said, pick up Spencer Ware, trust me. And I was like, what?
And you picked up Spencer Ware?
So I picked up Spencer Ware because the tweet that I saw above was from a good buddy, Michael Chin, works 6-7 The Score up in Chicago, said... he had the video of the TMZ thing, and he just posted a bye, hand waving, bye, Kareem Hunt. So I was like, oh, well, yeah, pick up Spencer Ware.
They made it. Oh my God, we got a 3-3 burner here in Palo Alto, in Santa Clara. Sorry, go ahead.
Watching the Pac-12 title game right now. The number ranked 11 Washington, taking on the number 17 ranked Utah. 3-3. Woo!
He barely made that field goal.
In the third, gonna be exciting. Coming down to the end. Who's going to the Rose Bowl? Who's smelling roses?
Anyway, finish your thought there. Sorry.
But so I looked at it, I picked it up, and then, didn't hear anything of it. I know Kareem Hunt got sent home from practice today. And once there was something, probably about 6:30 or so, news came out. Kareem Hunt put on the commissioner's exempt list, which means he can't play, can't go to practices, can't be at the facility during games or anything like that.
But he still gets paid.
And then 30 minutes later, Chiefs are releasing Kareem Hunt. So there you go. They're cutting ties with Hunt. Automatically, we're done.
So the question is I told you, there's something that we don't know to be released that quickly and for it to go down. The NFL move to put him on that list isn't a surprise because there's gonna be a lot of questions on why he's still playing if they've been investigating since February, all of that stuff. This is a serious deal, and we heard the description before we saw it from Will Kane at ESPN on his radio show today, and I was like, I don't want to say I wasn't justifying it, but I said, well, that almost sounds like a self-defense move the way he was describing it, but you have to watch it yourself to see, and it's just, guys, stop putting yourself in those situations, man. I'm 6'2", 285 pounds. And, pretty much any woman in that around me, that if I accidentally elbow somebody in the head, it's going to look like, I do something horrible to somebody. So you just got to stop putting yourself in those situations and everything. The move that surprised me the most was the Chiefs cutting him. And that I would like to think that it means the Chiefs are no nonsense and they're like, we're not putting up with this at all. You know, there's video evidence. You're gone. You know, go work on your things, and if you come back to the NFL, somebody else will pick you up. I'd like to think that's the reason. I'm just so cynical and everything that there's just more out there that we don't know about that might be coming out in days forward that's not going to look good at all.
I think the main thing is this. I mean, it's the NFL, so let's face it. It all comes down to money. Kareem Hunt, in June 5th, 2017, signed a 4-year contract worth $3,285,000.
Good, his rookie, because this is his second year, right?
Yeah, out of Toledo. Guaranteed off that contract was his signing bonus. That was $775,952.
So
it hurts nothing to cut him. And I think that, I mean, it's kind of like, it's one, no nonsense. Two, it's all right, let's go cut him because this really doesn't, hurt us too bad in the long run. Had he been making more of my money, he's still on the commissioner's list inside the Chiefs organization.
You think so?
I think so.
Yeah, I guess those are the questions that we have to figure out, because it could go one of four ways. Now, like I said, this cynic in me says that this move was simply made because something worse is out there than what we saw. Or it could be he lied to the team he lied to everybody over these last 6 months, 7 months, and investigating it, and told them nothing happened. What they're saying isn't true, and then the video comes out and he lied to everybody's faces. I mean, that's the quickest way to go too. But
yeah, I mean, the Chiefs did say that they released a statement, said that Hunt was dishonest about the circumstances of the incident. They did say that?
Okay, so
I mean, it could be dishonesty thing, and then it's like, all right. I mean, obviously, this is Kareem Hunt's second year. Guy led the league in rushing last year, due in large part because Zeke missed his 6 games due to his own domestic violence situation. But the guy has years that he's going to be playing. This is nothing like the Ray Rice situation. Ray Rice was at the downward slope of his career. I mean, you got Kareem Hunt, who, up and coming second-year player, a great player, too. Like, don't take away from, what the dude does on the field. The dude's fantastic on the field. So it's going to be a lot of talking what happens. I mean, there's going to be a huge PR hit for whatever team he does sign with, because chances are he's going to sign with another team next year and get, his suspension.
Everything will be worked out. What's not going to happen is Kareem Hunt is not going to get claimed on waivers.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, they're not going to let him go away. That's the other thing that's kind of, I'm going to say bad timing. That's not the right wording, but that's the other thing that's not, that I guess is good with this timing, is after the Reuben Foster situation this last week, where the NFL let him go to waivers, and then the Redskins claimed him, and then all that, and now everybody's like, why'd you even let him go to? So now it's like, there's no way that's going to happen, because the NFL's like, well, we just got lambasted for a week over Reuben Foster getting arrested at the team hotel in Tampa for hitting a girl again. I guess the NFL is making progress in this stuff, right? But anytime, like, the world we live in today, video is just so damning. Like, even like, the most innocent video, and that's certainly not, I'm not saying this is innocent by any means, but just the most innocent video can be, you have to just be more aware of your surroundings. But then there's the questions like, why is he in Cleveland in February?
Georgia.
Oh, was it Cleveland? I thought he was in Cleveland.
That was Georgia.
Oh. Was he in the Cleveland Hotel in Georgia?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Sorry, folks. I don't know what I'm talking about. I should probably read.
I think it was Georgia, right? Yeah,
no, I thought it was Cleveland.
That was Georgia. Why did he be in Cleveland in February?
That's what I'm asking.
Go into Toledo.
I know.
I don't know where Toledo's at, but
it's Ohio, dude. You don't know where Cleveland's at.
Was it Toledo, Ohio?
Yes. Isn't Toledo in Ohio? Is there a Toledo outside of? There's a Toledo, Ohio. Now you're making me doubt. Oh wow.
Toledo, Ohio. Oh yeah, he was at the Cleveland Hotel, and it was in Georgia, right?
Oh, so he was at the Cleveland Hotel. Okay, so that's why I got confused.
Oh no, yeah, it was Cleveland. All right.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I thought Georgia. Why was I thinking Georgia?
I don't.
I could have sworn I saw something said Georgia earlier.
Because you're excited about the Georgia
Alabama game
tomorrow night.
Right.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't be excited about that game?
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think there's going to be definitely a lot of questions that get answered here in the next coming days. We'll see what happens next. I mean, obviously, it's a sensitive subject, not something that you expect to go through. I mean, not just as not just as like a female walking in the Cleveland hotel. Obviously, shouldn't don't want to go through that, but also just being a fan. You never expect this to come out of. A guy who you buy a jersey for, oh, wow, you didn't see that one coming. I mean, because these guys, they're role models, let's face it. And this is definitely a black guy for not just Kareem Hunt, but the entire sport.
That's, literally... The thing I don't get is we heard stories about an incident with Kareem Hunt in the offseason, and he said, I'm going to focus on football and all that stuff. So we heard rumors of incidences in the offseason, but nothing else came of it. And literally it had been 3:00 today, our time. So that's 5 Eastern. Where the NFL offices are, and so that's 2:00 in LA where TMZ is based, where literally just out of left field, everybody today, it's like every NFL beat writer, right, has just got to be working the phones all night.
They were getting ready to wrap up for the day,
yeah,
no big news today. Cowboys beat the Saints.
Talk about
looking forward to the game. Here we go. Right? And then it's like, oh, what the heck? So not only are the phones going off at the offices, over there on the east side, they're also going off in Vegas because. We know some bets have been changing now, and
I'm sure they took it off the board, right? They had to have taken it off the board.
Yeah, definitely. Changed the line, taken it off, done whatever, but so...
It's like, holy crap. So, so that's the shocking news, the big news and shocking news tonight. I mean, will the Chiefs be... Now... Not to berate this as a football thing because we know how serious the charges are, and he hasn't even been charged with anything. That's the other thing. There were no arrests in the incident.
Yep,
nothing,
no charges.
Which I know you have a problem with not being charged and being suspended with your Zeke.
Well, there was no
thing.
video of Zeke at all. Okay, just so you know.
So I know you have a problem with that. But
he doesn't get 6 or plus games. I'm pissed. All right.
But he there's no charges when the police showed up at the thing. The police obviously have had this video for a long time because that's the first thing the police do, right? In an incident is they pull, they get their thing from there. And there's been no charges in 8 months or 7 months, whatever February is. Sorry guys, I'm not a math. 9 months, 10 months, 10 months. 10 months now. Hold on, carry the one. So so there's been nothing happening or whatever. Video comes out. NFL has to, do what they got to do on that. But like I said, the shocking thing to me right now is that the Chiefs just cut him out of everything. So that's what I'm most curious about now is we need to know what else is going on, which we'll find out. It'll just be a little bit of time. But this is a serious. If you want to take it to the football field, which I know is a serious incident, and football is the last thing on this, is how does this affect the Chiefs for one? It's going to be tough for them to come in on Sunday and play, right? Because they're literally their brother in arms, went down this week. You treat it like an injury, but this is so much more. They're going to get bombarded with questions, for the next couple of weeks. The more stories come out and whatnot. So, the Chiefs already have a history of not being able to finish a first-round playoff game with 5 games to go. So, just from a football perspective, those are things to watch coming forward. As long as the non-human. So, so as he goes through this and goes through these things, and if he gets no charges or whatever, what's the NFL do if there's no charges? Obviously, they can suspend him if there's no charges, but, how do they handle this? There's so many... I don't want to use the word fascinating with this situation, but I'm going to. There's so many fascinating angles to this, all together that I'm kind of curious to see how this plays out. And this could be news dominating. This is going to dominate the rest of the football season.
Yeah, I want to say that's the main reason why the Chiefs did let him go, though. Maybe if we let him go here, he's on the exempt list, let him deal with that. That's his deal. It kind of just shows up as burp. A blurp or whatever they say. Not a burp, but no, like a blurp on the radar, moving forward. So that could be a big reason too, why they decided to let go. But definitely interesting stuff coming out of Kansas City, based out of what happened in Cleveland, and some other news coming out of Ohio. Ohio State athletic director has denied reports that Urban Meyer will step down following the 2019 season.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's been speculation if he'll make it past this year. And reports came out today, and, Football Scoop reported this. Football Scoop, they don't really work in coaching question marks, you know what I mean? Like, they go off of real sources and everything. So, of course they're going to deny that, though, because they have recruits and everything they got to worry about, right? Like, this is horrible news for Ohio State. If it's true or not, you know. But do you think it's Jim Harbaugh saying it?
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh. Hey, man, Urban Meyer told me when we shook hands last week that he was getting ready to step down and that I'll have that Ohio State job come 2020.
Right?
All right, let's go.
It's like, what in the world?
Yeah, Urban Meyer, obviously we know how Urban Meyer is based off what he happened to him at Florida. Once Tim Tebow left, it kind of went downhill for Urban Meyer, and he, called it quits right there. He left whenever he lost Tebow, said, I gotta go spend time with family, and then as soon as the Ohio State job opened up with all the stuff that happened with Tressel, he immediately hopped back into the driver's seat, and now all the big news that came out, obviously preseason for him this year with the whole domestic violence stuff. I could see him definitely leaving. I guess next year last year was contract. That'd be why it's 2019, right? Is that his
last year?
Is that why it is? I thought he signed like a 10-year deal, so I think he'd be leaving. So it's just kind of weird timing on it. I think if anything, he's not gonna want to leave after this year because I think he would want to be one of those guys to like. I don't say he's trying to see it through, but he wants to leave he doesn't want that to be his reputation that he just leaves when shit gets tough.
He left Florida with that reputation.
I know, but I think he's trying to change his reputation. That's what I
was going to say, because this is his last coaching job. Like, there's no step up from Ohio State, right?
Yeah, unless you go to Alabama, right? I don't know.
Yeah, but I pity the fool that goes to Alabama after Saban leaves.
You got to wait till Nick Saban dies and maybe you go to Alabama and I don't even know if you go.
No, you want to be the guy that goes after the guy that goes after Nick Saban.
Oh yeah, true that.
But like the yeah, so those are starting to come out now, which Urban. Sorry,
Urban.
I'm all Urban.
Meyer, yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why I double checked his name there. He's been looking awful on the sidelines. And of course, Michigan, he looked like $1 million on the sideline because they were blowing him out, But was that Maryland the week before where he looked like literally he was going to keel over at any minute and everything? And look, I'm not an Ohio State fan. We all know that. I rag on him a lot. I'm hoping to God Northwestern can surprise everybody this week, right?
Let's go, Wildcats.
I've always rooted for Northwestern, but I'm going to be the biggest fan. I'm wearing purple tomorrow. I'm going to wear my purple print shirt tomorrow just to wear it. But because already people are saying Ohio State deserves to be in, and it just drives me batty that they do that with them. So, we'll see where it goes, but it's certainly they want to squash these rumors quickly and fast because, like I said, recruiting. There's a lot of recruits that are going there to play for Urban Meyer that, they do not want that out there. People could be switching schools.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So, and then, so that's something to follow here coming up because the big game, they play tomorrow night, right?
Yep, they are the nightcap game tomorrow night against Northwestern. Go Wildcats. Other big news coming out of the ship. This time in Pittsburgh, Antonio Brown on the criticism by Big Ben says, I can take it. Big Ben was asked today about the number one wideout situation. He said, look, guys, we have 5 number one wideouts on this team. That's how I feel. They went to Brown. What do you think? He's like, look, man, I can take it. I'm a pro. We know what we got going on. 11 touchdowns this year to Brown, to Roethlisberger. They know what's up.
It was earlier in the week in his radio broadcast where he kind of blamed Antonio Brown for not taking the right route for that last interception. That was going to be intercepted by somebody. It's just a defensive line. Which, by the way, how cool is that defensive lineman? For what team was that?
Denver.
Denver. How cool was that guy? He just had a baby. Was working off 3 hours 2-hour sleep and was just all happy. But, I mean, it was getting picked off by the cornerback because the cornerback was there. One of those two guys was getting it. But Ben was blaming his receivers. He even said in there that they should have done all 4 plays from the 1 to Juju, and he totally left Antonio Brown out. So it's the typical Ben blaming other people. But the nice thing about this story, Jason, is Antonio Brown took it and owned it and didn't cause additional problems, which is what. And you know why? It's because they're winning. If they were losing, he would have taken it. Woe is me, and caused all this drama about it and everything, like he does earlier in the season and everything.
And he doesn't have to worry about Le'Veon Bell causing drama with him as well. And I think those two kind of fed off each other in recent years, so he doesn't worry with that. So Brown, he's taking the high road. I like that. I like that. Other news: playing the big Hero Championship tournament this weekend. PGA. Tiger Woods didn't know he hit the ball twice and he avoids a penalty. Is Tiger is this like the NFL giving like a good call to Aaron Rodgers and not the rookie quarterback?
Anybody? And now in golf you can't call in and tell them that they messed up to redo it, right? But
I mean, we saw at the U.S. Open a few years ago. You can definitely call in and say something.
No, they changed that rule like last year, I think. Last year they changed that rule, so you can't do that anymore.
After that debacle.
But this was caught in the deal, and they flat out told Tiger, if you didn't know you did it. I can't even say it. Who was it? Bubba Watson that hit out that sand trap that wasn't a sand trap that one year, and he was like, I didn't know I did it. He still got DQ'd or 2-stroke penalty and went from first to 4th or something.
You had Phil Mickelson who stopped the ball on the backside of a putt.
That's ignorance is not an excuse. So I am outraged, and it takes a lot to make me outraged about anything because I can see both sides of it. But I don't care if Tiger didn't know if he hit the ball twice. If he doesn't record on the scorecard, he's DQ'd. If he gets the ruling on it and they say that, but you hit the ball twice, man. That's a stroke. What rules are we playing by here? Is it because we need Tiger back in golf? Because that match was such a fucking debacle that was just awful.
4 playoff holes, man. That was not a debacle.
It was
the two most ignorant golfers in America.
We just watched 2 rich guys go down the thing, make a $200,000 bet. Just what the world needs. Let's watch 2 rich guys play around a golf, and bet large sums of money to win $9 million. And they didn't even talk on the course from what I didn't watch it because I could care less.
Well, they were mic'd up, so I don't know what was.
They didn't talk much after the first hole. And
really?
I heard the first hole was uncomfortable with them talking.
Really?
These guys
are they good friends though?
I don't know, but these guys don't talk on the golf course. Golfers don't have long conversations while they're playing.
The only time you ever get long conversations is the Ryder Cup. Because it's one of those, it's a fun event, all that stuff. So that's the only time you ever hear these guys really get out of golf character, I guess you could say.
You go to any tournament where it's not on TV, and you watch them tee off, and they all just put their head down and walk, to their ball.
Except for a lot of the younger guys, though, are kind of doing it now, though, where they talk. Or Rory McIlroy got all mad about I think Spieth and Thomas were high-fiving each other on great shots, and Rory's like, that's BS, completely abomination to the game. These guys congratulate each other. I don't like it. So, I don't know. Tiger's still old school, so I understand why he wouldn't talk, but I don't know.
So, really quick, Woods made a double bogey 6 on the hole to shoot 69, and he's tied for 15th, 8 strokes behind the leaders, which...
See, so he penalized himself. He did the double bogey. He knew what was right.
Well, it should have been a 7, though. Here's my point. So,
well, maybe he did the double bogey after the fact.
PGA Tour Vice President, quote, he didn't scrape or spoon or push the ball, said Mark Russell, PGA Tour Vice President of Rules and Competitiveness. Quote, and when he did that, Tiger said that he did not think he hit the ball twice. Explain that statement to me. Because he said he did not do that, and then he goes, and then when he did it, and then he goes, quote, looking at it at regular speed on a high-definition television, you couldn't tell that at all. But when you slow it down, you could see where the ball did stay in the club face quite a bit of time, and it looked like he might have hit it twice. But there's no way he could tell that. Are you effing kidding me? You've played golf before? You can tell when you hit the ball. You can feel it.
Yeah, but you're not going to say anything,
Yeah,
are you?
magic hands? It's a joke. So now, citing one of the decisions... look how outraged I'm getting at golf tonight.
There's a couple things that rile up Steve, and this is one. Golf riles up Steve more than anything I've seen.
It's the blatant...
It's the gentleman's game.
I do this in all sports. It's the blatant mischaracterization of rules and stuff to favor somebody. Like, it's annoying to me. Like, make it fair for everybody. But, so, citing one of the decisions in the rules of golf, 34-3/10, in case you guys want to look it up, Russell said there would be no penalty. Quote, basically it says if the player did not know that he did that, and the only way you can tell that is by using this type of slow motion technology, he's exempt from the rule. There's no penalty there. So, and then, as of January 1st, that rule will change. There will no longer be a penalty, and just one stroke will be counted for hitting the ball twice. So, now they're changing the rule to where you can accidentally touch the ball and move it after January 1st. So Tiger gets a little bit,
So after you signed a player who got cut for domestic violence, would you go on the radio like Washington Redskins Vice President of Personnel, Doug Williams, did and said, we've got people who are in a high places that have done far worse if you look at it realistically. And they're still up there. This is small potatoes compared to a lot of things out there, but at the same time, it's a big issue in America Day. Whether or not it's in football, whether or not it's in everyday life, whether it's or not it's in politics, it's out there. Would you go on the radio and say that?
No.
Well, that's what Doug Williams said.
I wouldn't say anything the Redskins have said.
That is what Doug Williams said. The Washington Redskins executive today, though, did come out with an apology. Said, I want to apologize to the organization, my wife, my mom, my sisters with 6 daughters. 6 effing daughters. Holy shit. That I have. The last night or so have been real tough for me from an emotional standpoint because never in my life did I say anything so insensitive as what I said. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses because there are no excuses. So Doug Williams apologizes today. Thanks for doing that. And sportsbooks already paying out on national championship bets on the Tide.
I told you about this, man. You went running to the computer to look at this story. I was like,
what do we got going on here? Do I have to get my bet in now?
No, too late. The odds were so against or making, I mean, it's basically impossible to make money betting Alabama.
There were 2-1 odds. So you bet $100, you get $95. Is what it comes down to. And people who put this money in that the Tide obviously going to win the national championship. People knew that, like, hey, I can make $95. I can double my investment here. Cool, whatever. And FanDuel is actually helping these guys out, saying, you know what, we appreciate you guys being fans. We're going to pay off your bets right now. If you got them in before, 5:30 Eastern today, I think it was the cut line. And they also said, if Alabama loses, don't worry, you keep the money. We stand to lose $400,000.
Yeah, they basically wanted to reward people for taking, quite honestly, it's a horrible bet because you're not going to make anything off of it. So that's a nice thing to see because they was it FanDuel that was in that controversy with that other thing a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it was up in Jersey, right?
Yeah. So at least it's good to see that FanDuel's doing something. Plus, it's. I guess it's only like $400,000 is what it's going to cost them total.
Yeah, if they lose, if Bama loses, so I mean, it's not too big of a deal.
No, I mean that the payout's like $400,000.
Yeah.
Like that's how few people made that bet with the dollar amount. So that's pennies in the pocket, and that's just giving them good publicity, so other people will be like, oh hey, and then also the people that do get paid on that, they're also going to be on that side as well. So, but I'm actually excited to see that a little bit. A company doing good, and stepping up and doing excellent, service to their customer base.
And speaking of Alabama, Alabama's offensive coordinator is a finalist for the Maryland job. Maryland will conduct final interviews for its head coaching vacancy on Sunday and Monday, meeting with 3 candidates. Matt Canada, who served as the Terps interim head coach this season. Michigan quarterbacks coach Pep Hamilton. I like that name, Pep. Go Pep. And also Alabama OC Mike Locksley.
Would you want that job after the turmoil of, not of the kid dying, but just the president to the board of directors insisting the guy gets rehired and that whole crap. Like, would you want to go work for those guys?
Earlier, you don't want to be the guy to come in after Saban. You want to be the guy who comes in after Saban. This is probably the gig you want after this guy, right? Like, I think the interim coach will get it, right? Like,
how do you, if you're not in that program right now, how do you take that job knowing how bad they screwed that up publicly and everything? You know, but then again, there's only so many Division I jobs out there to get. So the exciting news this week was that, you know, not that Kingsbury got fired at Texas Tech. I'm actually kind of sad to see that. But Utah State's head coach, I told you really, like, you didn't know Utah State was that good. And I was like, man, this Utah State guy is going to get a high-powered job. And that's shocking. He took that job that quick. But he's Texas Tech's new head coach. And 10-2, 2 10-win seasons at Utah State in the WAC. It's never been done before.
Now moving on up to the Big 12. Old LBK going to be throwing some tortillas. Take over Cliff Kingsbury, who was in the news yesterday. Not official is this deal with USC. It's been reported sources that Kingsbury could go to USC to become the offensive coordinator, and also that he's a bachelor and he's looking to run through with them hoes on Sunset Boulevard. That is why I love the internet and Wikipedia.
Yeah, we heard that yesterday. That was freaking hilarious. Like, they announced that he's you know, signed, you know, they've agreed to terms or whatever. And Wikipedia's changed in 2 seconds, which goes back to the Kareem Hunt deal. So in the video, we touched on it earlier. He kicked the lady and everything. So somebody went into Wikipedia and changed his position as a football player to kicker. Gotta love the internet.
Gotta love the internet. Let's get into a couple of football picks this week. Thank God we didn't pick anybody for this freaking horrible disaster of Washington-Utah game.
10-3.
Washington coming down into the third, though. But tomorrow we kick things off bright and early. 10 a.m. Mountain Time for us. 11 a.m. in Central Time there, where Texas and OU will renew their Red River Shootout. This is the first time.
That's the big game tomorrow?
That is the morning game. This is the first time these two teams have played in a non-Cotton Bowl environment in like 100 years. They have not. The only time they ever play is in the Cotton Bowl.
Well, they never had this
in October.
Game, right? Yeah.
And I mean, the championship game, it used to be North versus South, and both those teams are in the South, but now the way the new Big 12 is structured, top two teams, they make it. So you got Texas, number 14, 9-3, taking on 11-1, number 5, Oklahoma. That one loss came to Texas. Does Texas get it done again tomorrow? Oklahoma, 7.5-point favorites.
For the love of God, Oklahoma, not only win this game, win it large for multiple reasons. One reason is they've been told not to do the upside down hook 'em horn sign, whatever that is. What do they call that? Because they'll get a penalty if they do. So get a big enough lead where you can do it every freaking time and get 15-yard penalties the whole fourth quarter because you have a 50-point lead. And 2, we need Oklahoma to dominate this game and win it. Keep Ohio State out of the playoffs.
Do not want to see Ohio State in the playoffs. Does Stever.
I think Oklahoma learned their lesson last time on taking it easy when they had the lead toward the end of a game against your rivals. So I think Oklahoma is going to run away with this. I don't think it's going to be as close as people think. But we'll see. I've been wrong before.
I mean, I hope it's a classic like we got, because, I mean, that game was actually a really great game. That was, I usually don't get all hyped up for the River Shootout game. I usually just watch it because it's one of those things that, you know, I grew up in Texas, so it's always one of those deals that was on. And I enjoyed the hell of that football game. And I think that was the only Big 12 game I watched all year. Was those two teams. I don't think I've watched another Big 12 game at all.
I think you came into that late, too. Like, I was like, this game's over.
Yeah, like, I remember I took a shower. I was like, this game's over. And I came back out. I was like, oh, my God. Like, what happened? I was like, oh, my God, dude.
I was like, Texas has momentum right here. Yeah, I agree. I hope it's a good game. But at the same time, we need Oklahoma to win this. We need Oklahoma to win it fairly big. I don't think it matters. Alabama and Clemson are meeting in the finals here, unless Georgia, which we'll talk about in a minute, can do some stuff. But the other two spots are pretty much gone.
Real quick note on Texas. Texas State rep Lyle Larson, not to be confused with Kyle Larson, who drives the number 42 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series car for Chip Ganassi and is right now dirt racing in St. Louis. Good luck, Kyle. Lyle Larson filed a bill that would require Texas and Texas A&M to play football. If passed, the teams failed to play, they would lose all football scholarships that use state money. I don't like mixing politics with sports, but this one I can stand up on. I'm a fan of this one.
I believe there was a rule when they were in the South 12 or whatever, Southwest 8 or whatever it was, that every Texas, you had to play other Texas teams, like, and everything. And that was actually a stickler. Remember when the when it was the Pac-10 back then, and they were going to bring in Texas and somebody else, and that was one of the sticklers. I thought I read it was a state law. They had to play, other Texas schools X amount of times during the year, so the money stays in Texas, obviously. So I know Ohio has that rule. That's why Ohio State always has to play like Ohio U or something like that, like once. But Texas was a bigger deal, and that's why they had that, whatever it was.
Those two teams haven't played each other since A&M went to the SEC, and it's just been a big debacle. Obviously, A&M won it out because all the money in the Big 12 South went to Texas, which is why they wanted out.
Even Oklahoma,
stepchild,
Oklahoma's the stepchild in that.
Oklahoma, they were shopping too. Like, there's a lot of people shopping around that time frame. Anyway, so that's big news coming out there. We do have I hate this. I'm going to tell you right now. I hate these non-conference games during conference championship week. Drake tomorrow. Kiki, do you love me? Are you No, not that Drake. Drake. 7-3 playing Iowa State tomorrow, number 23 ranked in the nation in Iowa. There you have that. Iowa State, I guess, should get the W. No idea why that game is scheduled this weekend.
Where's Drake at? What conference are they in?
I think Drake just got finished up his West Coast tour. But no.
You're sticking with that joke, huh?
Oh, come on.
No. Drake was just in Toronto. Remember, he was in Toronto the other night, and he was mixing it up with Golden State. Remember?
With KD.
KD, yeah, on the sideline.
But yeah, so there, Drake is. I don't know where they're at. I'm not even gonna look it up.
I was just curious. Yeah. Why?
Like, why are they playing this game?
I feel like Drake is like a D2 school, right, or whatever they call it.
Gotta be, right?
FBS,
like,
Southern Methodist University,
right? Yeah. I don't know, but Iowa State should win that game. Memphis taking on UCF. Backup quarterback and all. UCF hosting the game down in Orlando at Spectrum Stadium, the American Athletic Conference Football Championship game. Your defending, reigning national champions taking on Memphis. Should get the win here.
Memphis is going to shock them here. 2 reasons. One, Memphis is a good team. UCF, with the backup quarterback, is going to have some growing pains here. Again, we don't know how good the guy is. But here's the other thing. Mike Norvell, who used to be at Arizona State and went to Memphis as the head coach, is in line for some bigger jobs this year. Like, they were already talking to him about UNC before Mac Brown just took it, and stuff like that. So Norvell might surprise here, keep his name on the map for a big-time job coming up here. So I think Memphis is going to give you a UCF their first loss in a couple years.
My Knights are destined to come to Arizona and play the Washington State Cougars in the Fiesta Bowl. Yeah. Do not ruin this dream of Mike Leach versus the Knights. Don't ruin my dream. 2:00 game tomorrow, our time. Alabama taking on number 4 Georgia in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Alabama 12.5-point favorites. SEC championship game. Of course, this was last year's title game where Alabama came back with old Tua. First time we saw Tua last year, and Georgia, I guess they should have a game plan on how to play him, right?
I think if a team's going to beat Alabama, it's going to be Georgia. Like, because they play each other, they play the same style, they're in the same conference. It's literally man on man. Like, there's no mismatches like you would get. The SEC plays the Big Ten, and the SEC just dominates them because of that. So if anybody's going to win, if anybody's going to beat Alabama, it's going to be Georgia. I expect a really close game. I would love to see Georgia win just because I would love to see Georgia and Alabama in the playoff. because there's a chance they'll meet back up again because they're just the way they play. But I think Alabama's just going to have that edge this year to go. If it's close, you still might see Georgia sneak into that playoff. Two-loss Georgia might still make it into that playoff because if they play it close with Alabama, knowing Alabama,
it's got to be 3 points or less.
It's possible.
It's got to be 3 points or less if Georgia has a chance to make the playoffs. Like you said, you need Oklahoma to win. You need Georgia to kind of win too here, because if Georgia wins, Alabama doesn't drop out of the top 4.
No, they'll move down.
And then Oklahoma doesn't get in. Like, Oklahoma's going to have a right to bitch because you have potential where your national title, once again, didn't win their conference championship like we saw last year. Alabama got a lot of flack for that last year because they did not win
they were
the SEC title.
But they were the best team in the league, and they proved it.
And that's why I think tomorrow, Alabama does win tomorrow, gets it done at home, and I think they run away from it. I think Georgia's out of the playoff talk after this weekend. Mountain West Football Championship game, Fresno State taking on Leighton Vander Esch's former team, his alma mater, Boise State. Game's going to be at Albertson Stadium in Boise, so the Smurf turf will be in full effect. Boise, though, only a 1-point favorite at home.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that. I was more surprised that Fresno State has a good team this year. Like, being on the West Coast, if you're not on the West, if you're not over here in the Southwest like we are, you do get a lot of these lower, WAC, Mountain West games. We follow those. We don't necessarily watch them, but we kind of follow them and everything because it's all over the news here. But being at home, I think Boise State's going to win that game there. And Boise State's going to end up, in a crappy bowl like they always do, like the Las Vegas Bowl or something like they always do, and play, like a sixth whatever ranked Pac-12 team.
Go Boise State. Go Boise State.
I think Boise State.
Yeah, with 2 losses, they're not going to get a Big 6 game, but they'll definitely sneak in there. Get a lower tier or higher tier game.
Well, for them, it's a high tier, but for, like Pac-12.
It's lower tier.
Well, like, when they won their conference, you remember how they were good and they would make it like they were like ranked in the top whatever. If they lost one game, they would always go to Las Vegas and play like Oregon State, who was like the sixth ranked Pac-12 team or something like that. So
that was back when there was like a lot of more parity in the Pac-10 too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly.
Oregon State wasn't no slouch either. We have Clemson taking on Pittsburgh tomorrow night. Number 2 Clemson, 12-0, taking on the 7-5 Pittsburgh. Larry Fitzgerald will not be in attendance. From what I heard, he's busy up in Lambeau getting ready for that game. But Clemson 27.5-point favorites for this game tomorrow. Over/under's 53. You think? I think they get over, and I think Clemson does it by themselves. I have this game being just a blowout, 60-7.
It's not. Pittsburgh might as well not even get off the bus. This is just going to be ugly. Clemson has a lot to play for because if Clemson does lose, they will fall out of the playoffs.
Yeah, you lose to Pittsburgh. Yeah, there's no staying in there.
So they have to win, and I think they're just going to dominate it. Plus, it's kind of like a tune-up. It's the last tune-up for that true freshman quarterback going into it. And that's the thing that worries me about Clemson is their quarterback's super young going against some of these, bigger teams and everything.
His hair is so great. It just flows right out of the helmet. I love his hair.
The problem is in the helmet, it looks like garbage, though.
So Northwestern moved up to 21st rank, getting ready to play Ohio State. They're 8-4, ranked 21st. Ohio State's number 6. Is this one of those things where if Ohio State does beat them, that's like, we beat number 21 Northwestern to win our championship game?
Yeah.
Get them in?
Northwestern's good enough to be ranked, 20, 21, 22 like they are. They're good enough to be there. But it's a typical Ohio State bandwagon. Everybody forgot, all the Ohio State forgiving guys are like, they lost to Purdue by 29. Oh, when did that happen? But we beat Northwestern in the championship game and we dominated Michigan, but you still lost to Purdue by 29. There should be a rule that if you lose to anybody by 29, let alone a crappy Purdue team, you should be eliminated from the playoffs.
And you almost lost to Maryland, but let's forget about that. Anyway.
But because they beat Michigan. So I'm rooting for Northwestern here, but Ohio State's going to win this. It's just a matter of how big Ohio State's going to win it. And they're going to try to run it out because they know they need to run this score up and dominate like they did against Michigan to kind of get people to start being like, well, they deserve to jump Oklahoma if Oklahoma wins. To get over that.
And if they bobble in a win. So, yeah, I like Ohio State. I think Northwestern keeps it a lot closer than what people think they would. But I think mid-third, you're going to see kind of what we saw last week with Ohio State just running away from Michigan. Because that game was close at halftime. Tie ball game at halftime last week. So, yeah, I definitely see Ohio State running away late from Northwestern to win the big.
It could be a letdown game for Ohio State because they're like, yeah, we just dominated Michigan because that was a rivalry game. Going to Northwestern, they might be reading their press and knowing how great they are and everything. So.
Saints Cowboys played yesterday. Go Cowboys, still on that high from the win. Ravens and Falcons going to kick things off Sunday, though, at 11 o'clock from Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Gosh, can we please get a video of how they changed the stadium over? From SEC title game with all the confetti going on in the field back to Falcons game bright and early on Sunday.
Do you think it's like just a bunch of people down there with vacuums?
Well,
because it's turf.
Yeah, but don't you they have to re-roll the turf out, right? Because they don't paint the turf to make it.
I don't know about that. I don't know if there's newer technology, but if you watch a game, those are just basically logos, right? So it's a fresh piece of turf, like the logo in the center.
Yeah.
And they literally just pull it up and roll it up and then go store it somewhere and they roll the new one out.
So they just bring out the midfield is just all new turf that they just bring out?
No, just
to make
that
the
logo area.
Well, no, you got to make the hashes wider too for college.
Oh, crap, you're right. How did they do that?
Yeah. And they probably have some weird ass SEC numbers and stuff. So I don't know. I just want to see it for once because I want to know how it's done. I feel like it's probably the easiest thing ever. But I'm always I'm real interested in see how they do this.
I didn't think about the hash mark things, but yeah, because I know that's how they change end zones and stuff. For regular stuff it's literally every piece. It's a bunch of pieces and they basically put it together.
That's I felt bad for the crew at AT&T Stadium because not only did they have a Thanksgiving game last Thursday, they had that horrible Baylor Texas Tech game on on that Saturday. Then they went back to Cowboy game on Thursday. Another Big 12 title game tomorrow, and then they finally had a week to prepare for their next game. But still, it's oh my gosh, what the heck? So Falcons are 1.5 point favorites here, taking on the Ravens.
I'm torn on this game because Lamar Jackson, they haven't announced who's going to start yet, but it's got to be Lamar Jackson here.
He's my starting quarterback this week, thanks, because I don't know why, but I got a hair up my ass yesterday and said, I'm going to sit Drew Brees. 9-point Drew Brees. Go Jason, fantasy football. And I picked up Spencer Ware. I'm looking like a fantasy football Hall of Famer right now who's not going to even make the playoffs. But I picked up Lamar Jackson because Mitch Trubisky is now doubtful again for a Sunday. But, yeah.
So, I'm going to... God, the Falcons, I just expect them to be so much better, and they just disappoint me constantly. But I'm gonna go Ravens in this one. John Harbaugh is fighting for his job right now. There's no reason the Ravens shouldn't be better than they are with the talent on their team. Lamar Jackson's an unknown still. He has problems hitting open receivers. He has a lot of issues. He's not the best quarterback ever, but I think he's going to get it done with all the question marks he's got. So I'm going to go Ravens.
I like the Ravens too. Lamar Jackson gets it done, puts up big points tomorrow, runs in for 3 scores. Get it, Ravens. Let's go. Broncos taking on the Bengals. Broncos come off a big win last week against the Steelers at home. Going to be traveling to Cincinnati, Ohio, where the Bengals will be without Andy Dalton. Denver 5.5 point favorites. Broncos win this game.
Yeah.
Easily, right? Yeah, that's right. Broncos going to win 63 degrees in Cincinnati, Ohio on Sunday.
The thing, the Andy Dalton being out, I mean, that's the huge thing there. But man, Broncos, they went out, dude. They're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna 9 wins.
Yeah, they're looking pretty stuffy right now. They got 5 wins. I mean, they got to win out. They
definitely got to win out. But I mean, their schedule's favorable. But yeah, Cincinnati, the cards are against Cincinnati now, and the only intrigue going on in Cincinnati right now is Marvin Lewis going to somehow keep his job for another year.
We will see that play out. Rams taking on the Lions in Ford Field Sunday morning. Rams 10.5 point favorites on the road.
The Rams?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I meant the Rams.
Oh, you meant the Rams are winning?
yeah,
Rams.
the Rams. Yeah.
Rams are going to win this game.
Why are we even discussing this?
Coming off the bye, coming off the game of the year, the game of the century, as they dubbed it.
Matt Stafford. Everybody wants Matt Stafford out of Detroit. Like, everybody's so disgruntled with him. You know, their head coach is yelling at reporters for being slobs while he's got a unkempt beard and wears a hat sideways and, you know, has a pencil behind his ear. It's a mess. Lions are just a joke of a mess.
That they are. I like the Rams to win this game as well. Cardinals and Packers. Packers 14-point favorites over the Cardinals. Did the Cards cover?
No, God, no. No. It's going to be cold. It's snowed there. Like, there's snow everywhere up there. We have friends that live back in that area and everything, and it snowed all week. You know, it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow in Chicago.
It's going to be 38 on Sunday with chance of snow flurries.
Little history of the Cardinals. They suck in cold weather. They're not good.
So there is such a thing as bear weather? Cards weather?
They've never been good in cold weather. You know, Aaron Rodgers has to basically win out to even have a chance at the playoffs.
Well, he told you last week he was going to win.
I know.
This game, then play the next game, then play the next. He's going to win.
Packers are used to the cold. They have the game to be able to do it. There's no. I don't even think the Cardinals even cover. I think this might be. They had a 10-point lead on the Chargers last week and lost by 42 points or whatever, or 42-10. They're not even going to get 10, and they're not going to be up on this one. This is just going to be an ugly, ugly game. Packers are going to win this.
I'm going to say the Cardinals win. Upset of the week right here. I don't know why, but last week you saw the Packers after that loss. Aaron Rodgers answering all these questions. Mike McCarthy doing the whole, we just got to get things done, yada, 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 yada. I think the Cardinals go in to Lambeau and they get one. I have some friends over there, so I mean, there's a good contingent. At least 5 Cardinals fans are going to be in the house in Lambeau, so I mean, get loud, get rowdy, Steve Bailey and the boys. Let's go Cards.
If your shirt's not off and your chest ain't painted, you aren't real fans.
That's right. That's right. Bills play the Dolphins. Another morning game. 86 degrees is going to be down in Miami. Much needed for the Bills, who are 4-7, man. Having a pretty solid year, you know, given everything.
For the
Bills, right? But Miami's 3.5-point favorites at home, and also only one loss at home came, of course, to the Patriots. How you like it?
Tannehill's back, right?
Tannehill is back.
Did he play last week? He did? I don't know. They said he was questionable, but no, Miami's going to win this. Miami's having a pretty solid year, you know, just that division with the, you know, on there. Miami's sneaky on there, but yeah, you can't go with the Bills.
I like the Dolphins to win this game also. Bears taking on the Giants in MetLife Stadium. It's going to be rainy, 57 degrees. Chicago, 3.5-point favorites. Thought that'd be higher, given what that defense is against that offense.
That with Trubisky's shoulder and question marks on that.
Yeah, that is definitely true.
But I mean, come on, they're playing who? I mean, yeah. The Bears are going to sneak this one out. Bears are having a solid season. Bears need the win, actually, because if the Packers do win out, the Bears can't falter here.
Yeah, definitely can't falter if you don't win that division. Host yourself a division playoff game, man.
Right?
Gonna be exciting stuff in Chicago coming up in January. Can't wait.
Go Bears.
No Bears. Panthers taking on the Buccaneers. Who's starting for the Bucs this weekend? Winston again?
Who even knows?
We going quarterback by committee. We're gonna change them out there, interchanging them. Carolina 3-point favorites on the road in Tampa Bay. Why is it that they always
only 3-point?
Why is it that they always play Miami, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville always play at home the same effing weekends? You know,
yeah. That is a good point. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's always seems to fall that way. Maybe it's a law in Florida.
All 3 got to play to make our stadiums look more half full.
Right? Yeah, if they split them up more, you probably get more people traveling, right? So
I would think so. I would travel. If you lived in a state that had 3 football teams, would be like, hey, let's go check out this game.
Miami Tampa is only 3 hours. I've done that drive.
Yeah, you can see more teams that way. I mean,
Tampa to Jacksonville is not an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, it would just make more sense. I don't know. That's what I would do. Yeah, let's move in Florida.
It would help if your teams were good, Jason.
Right.
So, Buccaneers are not winning this game. Carolina's they've been sucking the last 3. Greg Olsen, who I thought was a homeless guy when they were interviewing him last week, really came out against how bad their team was playing. Carolina comes back. They're going to win this game.
I like Carolina to get this one. done as well. Colts taking on the Jaguars. Guess where? Jacksonville. 81 degree though. Thunderstorms expected in Jacksonville. And partly sunny and thunderstorms there in Tampa Bay, by the way.
So I gave you this stat that Blake Bortles has the exact or very close to the same stats that he had last year at the same time.
A little bit better in some categories, and he still got benched.
So Blake Bortles, that's the thing, Blake Bortles has been benched for this game too. It's some guy I've never heard of in the back starting. So that just tells you how far Jacksonville's fallen in 1 year with that deal on there. But I mean, that's the Colts division to win. The Colts are sneaking up on people. Like, people are starting to notice the Colts. And I told you this like 3 weeks ago that this Colts team they're going to be something special here coming up, because Andrew Luck is one of those guys, and I know you're not an Andrew Luck fan, but he's one of those guys that he's like Aaron Rodgers, man. When he's on the team, he makes your team good, and when he's off the team, your team is god awful.
And now he has an offensive line protect him, and he is looking fantastic. So yeah, I like the Colts to win this one as well. But don't you dare say this is the Colts division to win, because they have to go through the Texans, who are hosting the Browns tomorrow night. 8-3 Texans taking the 4-6-1 Cleveland Browns. 5.5-point favorites are the Texans.
God, I hate when you make me pick the Texans to win. Texans.
Go Browns, baby. They got a big win last week in Cincinnati. Baker Mayfield is on fire since Hugh Jackson left. This is the Cleveland effing Browns, baby. Baker Mayfield is going to walk in there. They're going to bless all them Texans, bless all them Texans, and then they're going to walk out and go back to Cleveland where life sucks again.
Can both teams, can they tie? Can they tie? I'd be happy with the tie.
They can potentially tie. I mean, Browns have tied this year already.
Yeah, that'd be a good one for me, their tie, because I can't pick the Browns, and I just hate picking the Texans. But Texans are on a roll, man. You got to give them props.
But go Browns. I like it. Jets taking on the Titans. Afternoon matchup here around 2 o'clock. Jets will not say who their quarterback is until Sunday morning.
Doesn't matter.
Tennessee 8-point favorites at home. Need a big bounce back win after getting pretty much embarrassed on Monday Night Football against the aforementioned Texans.
Yeah, I mean, Titans are that team where, I mean, Mariota's not, I don't know what's going on with him. He should be better than he is, but at the same time, he's still he's still a top, half quarterback, but then he falters some weeks. But I like Vrabel, man. Watching him play and watching him coach and watching him do all that, the team rallies around him. I think Titans are bouncing back and winning this. So.
Yeah, Titans got to bounce back and win this. But like you say, you never know what team you're going to get, especially with Mariota. They beat the Cowboys at home Monday Night Football. That was the Cowboys' last loss. Then they went on and beat the Patriots. That's the Patriots' last loss. Mm-hmm. What are you getting with these Titans? They got to beat the teams that they're supposed to beat if they want to be a player come the late months of December.
And they don't.
In this AFC South. So Titans got to get it done here. 8-point favorites. I got my money on you. Chiefs taking on the Raiders in Oakland. The Chiefs really couldn't have got a better
this week.
A cupcake game, right, for this week. Everything going on. You got a pretty good matchup here going on the road in Oakland. And 14-point favorites still are the Chiefs. I don't even think that line changed.
Is that updated?
That's updated.
I'd be shocked if that line doesn't drop or taken off the board with that news today. So, but it came out so late that they might not have adjusted it yet, though.
Who knows?
They might have just kept it 14 and stopped taking bets on it.
Get your money on Oakland right now.
They might have done that. But yeah, I know, right? But that's the question mark. This game is a giant question mark now. I think the Chiefs win this because the Raiders are just awful. But that's going to be the question mark. It's going to be interesting to watch. All eyes are going to be on the Chiefs because how they come out, man. If they don't come out and dominate, it's going to be the question mark after the game. Their head's in it.
Sammy Watkins is out of this game, but Spencer Ware is no slouch back there behind the quarterback. The only reason Spencer Ware didn't, really get off to a good start last year, because one, he was injured, which brought in Kareem Hunt, and Kareem Hunt just dominated this first 3 weeks, had 10 touchdowns in 3 weeks.
But isn't that the problem? Spencer Ware's always hurt.
So now we'll see, what Spencer Ware has here. So Spencer Ware, give you the ball, baby. Can you do a Connor situation like Pittsburgh has? We'll see. But yeah, I like the Chiefs winning.
Can they run the same offense with Ware that they do? Can they run him the same as?
Yeah, I mean they did it before that. You know, with Tariq Hill and all that stuff back when they had Alex Smith. So I mean, I just think Spitzerwell comes in there and they get it figured out. Vikings taking out the Patriots. This game 2:25 start on Fox. I think this is the game of the week on Fox, by the way. Tom Brady taking on the Vikings. That Vikings defense, man, they're starting to step it up when the time's right. Beat the Packers last week. 5.5 point underdogs, though, are the Vikings on the road.
I'm thinking. Dead air because I'm thinking here.
Dead air because he's thinking.
God, the Vikings are just unimpressive. And, you know what? I'm picking the teams I hate. Patriots.
I like the Patriots to win as well. 49ers taking on the Seahawks in Seattle. 10-point favorites are the Seahawks. Hawks really stepped up here as of late. I like the Seahawks winning this one.
Yeah. Seattle's sneaking up on people too, man. They're winning some games that nobody thought they would win. So, and they're looking good again. So they're rolling strong. So Seattle's gonna win this one.
Sunday night, big matchup here, man. Flex finally got it right. I feel like Chargers and Steelers, 8-3 Chargers. Coming off a big win against Arizona, bounce back win actually after losing to Denver. Steelers come off a loss to Denver. Going to be at Heinz Field. 3.5 point favorites are the Steelers. 63 degrees going to be the weather in Pittsburgh. Beautiful football weather, as they say.
That's San Diego or
football weather,
LA weather,
as they say. Woo, I'm excited for this one. I know this might as well just be picking me. I like the Chargers winning.
I'm going to go Chargers on this one because the Chargers need to win more than the Steelers do. And I think all the drama is creeping back into Pittsburgh again, you know, with Ben making those comments and whatever. But, you know, the Steelers should come in focused in this game after what happened last week and losing to the Broncos. However, the Chargers are just... they're just that team where, you know, good, bad. But this is the time of the year where the Chargers surprise people. They had that bad loss to Denver a couple weeks ago, and they need it more, so I agree with you. I think that, especially with the weather being nice, the Chargers are going to win.
I remember last week you said, this Chargers team hasn't impressed me much, and then Phillip Rivers went off and rattled off, 26 straight completions?
I think Phillip Rivers was God last week.
I mean, he was definitely Jesus last week. So, yeah, I like the Chargers winning this one as well. Monday Night Football, Redskins and Eagles. Who do I go for is my heart. It says, I hate you both. Can a plane just crash and burn this entire freaking Lincoln Financial Field? And it's like, I don't know. Phillies, 6.5 point favorites taking on a team that's ahead of them in the standings with backup quarterback. Eagles haven't been worth a damn this year. 3-3 at home. Redskins are 3-2 away. Like, what happens on Monday Night Football? It's going to be bad football, I feel like. Because NFC East, it's been bad football. Like, the Eagles playing the Giants last week was bad football, and the Eagles, snuck it out. Like, this is a typical Monday night, shitty football game.
That's what I was laughing at. Like, you're totally hyping it up, and I was going to go, this is going to be a horrible football game to have on, man. So,
58 degrees, though. Good football weather.
I think the Eagles are going to win this. I am a firm believer that the Eagles think they can flip the switch, and they're about ready to flip it if they're going to. But I just think with all the stuff in Washington, which has to do with the ownership, players have been distracted all week being asked about it. Reuben Foster isn't even playing, but he can practice with them. He can... Oh, no, he can't even practice with them now. But he's still getting paid. It's just a huge distraction to a team that lost their starting quarterback. Colt McCoy's in there. I just think there's too much for the Redskins. You know, they lost that to Dallas last week, so they lost all the momentum on top of it. I just think the Eagles are going to pound them. It's going to be pound them in the mouth.
Pound them in the mouth. You're going to stick with that, huh? Pound them in the mouth? That's what we're sticking with?
I can't change it now, Jason.
Yeah, you can't.
Punch him in the mouth. You
know what? Give me the Eagles to win this one. That way they'll lose the following week to the Cowboys, which we'll pick that next week on the podcast. Big weekend coming up here. Obviously, you got cheerleading competition tomorrow. Get excited for that?
I don't.
Well, you're not.
I have to go observe it.
Are you the base of the pyramid for,
exactly.
for everybody?
I'm the flyer, Jason.
Oh, you're the flyer? What was that movie?
Dodgeball.
Yeah, Dodgeball. Right?
With a big girl.
Justin Long and the skinny. Oh, goddamn. The girl just falls right on his head. Oh, man.
Thanks for calling me fat, Jason.
That wasn't what I meant. That wasn't... Well, compared to 7-year-old girls, all right? Like, come on, let's be real here, okay?
Yes. So that's my tomorrow afternoon. It's be exciting with all the cheer moms there. And we'll see. We got an email saying how do they expect parents to act?
Oh yeah, because I have a feel like I want you to like if there's like a cheer mom out there who's like kind of like doing like the whole like dance and stuff like that. Take a video for me and be like, oh, she missed her spot.
So when we went to
worked on that all week, and that little bitch missed it. You know, like
when we went to that practice, like a month or two ago, on that Saturday, we went to a big practice and like literally it was just amazing. Like mom walks down the bleachers and gets down there and she's like, we're down here. You better wake up and start doing it. If you don't want to be here, why'd we come down here? I can pull you out of a chair right now if you don't want to do this properly. And I was just, sitting there like, God, I love this.
Please take video.
I love
Please
this.
take video.
It, right?
Competition. All right.
This is even a big deal right here. Like, because like they place and everything. And like, yeah, I know. Like,
you get a ribbon, you get roses. I don't even know what you get anymore.
I know. That was the big debate. I was asked that yesterday by one of my friends. I know dance, you give them roses after dances because I've been to dance classes.
Do flowers.
Do you do flowers for cheer?
Yeah, flowers. A mum, maybe.
Oh my God. It's over. I'm dead.
You're dead? Okay, so I do want to bring this up. So apparently the report has come out that Pat Mahomes now has a deal with Hunt Ketchup and not Heinz. Like Heinz said if he got 57 touchdowns. Another deal is that maybe Hunt Ketchup is now going to be backing Patrick Mahomes.
Makes sense.
And the one guy who won't be backing Patrick Mahomes this weekend on the football field is Kareem Hunt. Isn't it ironic?
Isn't it ironic?
Don't you think? It's like, well, no, I'm going to try to get in the Christmas spirit tomorrow. Thinking about doing the Parade of Lights tomorrow night in Phoenix. So,
what time does that start?
I don't know, like 5 or so, 5:30, whenever it gets dark, I guess.
5:30 or whatever?
Yeah, so I think like 5:36, something like that. So.
I get the, that's a weird thing about this cheerleading thing. Like, I was thinking it was like during the day.
No, it's like afternoon, right?
Yeah, she's got to be there by 3. Well, I mean, the little kids go first, so there's like 4 different sessions. So like the little kids go first, and like the younger kids,
like 4 and 5-year-olds. You want to be there for those though, because those ones have more fun. You get to see them like all screw up and just everybody laugh.
Okay, Jason, you go hang out there all day.
I'm not hanging out.
So she's got to be there like 3 for us, check in, and then they get like an hour of practice, warm up or whatever, stretching, whatever they do, and then it starts at 4:25, and it goes to 5:55, 6 o'clock. So, it's like weird. And then there's a group after that too. Like the older girls are after that. And it's a 2-day thing. And then the more people the next day. So yeah, I was just kind of surprised. I was expecting like I'd be there from like 10 to 3 or something. And I'm like, oh dang, I got all morning. And so it's exciting. We'll see how she does. We'll have plenty of video.
There you go. Yeah, you're gonna be one of those dads busting out the cell phone. Let's go.
Cell phone. I'm taking the JVC instead of chop knives.
Chop up. All right, hit your spot. Only on your one kid though, so you can't see the rest of the orbit.
Yeah, exactly right. Just zoomed in on her. It's like, what about the other kids? Oh, we don't care about them. Look where you messed up right here.
No, I'm excited. This is going to be my first time to be at one of those North Phoenix parades and not see Sheriff Joe Arpaio on a float.
But really? Like,
yeah. Like when
that's a thing? That's what you remember from? I'm like, I don't even know how to go with this.
Well, no, because you knew when Sheriff Joe was growing up because he'd always be in a big-ass fucking tank because he's Sheriff Joe, He guy does not stay humble at all, right?
I know, right?
Like,
with pink underwear on.
He just rolls up in a tank, and then you just hear all these boos. They're like, oh, it must be Sheriff Joe coming. like you go like the Fiesta Bowl parade, and like the Parade of Lights, everybody's like, oh, yeah, check it out. Oh, yeah, oh, that's so cute. Oh, look at that, good church, First Baptist Church out here throwing candy canes out. And it's just boo. Like, oh, Sheriff Joe's coming. Here we go. Just people like yelling out outlandish things to him. Like everybody's demeanor goes from "Yay, it's Christmas" to "Fuck you, asshole." And it's like, oh wow, okay, that
giving spirit.
It's like a 180. Hope you choke on that freaking candy cane, you Grinch.
We discussed this before Thanksgiving, man. I'm not a big parade guy. Like, I'll go if I, have to, but
I'm just trying to get out of the house.
Right?
On a Saturday night, it's like, what do? You don't want to go drinking at the bars, and just...
And well, like afterwards, I was thinking about going through one of those drive-through Christmas light things I was telling you, but there's so many question marks afterwards, because we have, split family now, so like the mom, but her parents can't go now, so like it's just You know, we have that issue again.
Yay,
We
2
talked about-
Christmases.
I hinted at earlier. And then, like, you know, my parents are going, so will there be dinner afterwards? If not, will the kids want to go home with me? Will they want to go with their mom? Do they want to go stay with the gram? Like, there's a lot of question marks here afterwards.
Well, variables you got in play.
I know. So I'm about to say, stiff arm, flexible, you know.
Yeah. I'm glad.
I gotta watch Daddy's Home 2 or Daddy's Home 1 again to know how to react if I have to meet somebody.
We gotta watch Daddy's Home 2 too.
Did they do it? I'll be like, nope.
Nope.
Just walk by, nope.
Hey, you want to be a friend? Nope.
Nope.
Anyways, do it. Thank everybody for listening to us. Make sure you check us out, tune us in. Got a lot more social media stuff coming up here. Kind of is our slow season. Not podcast wise, but other stuff they got going on as race season is officially over. So race with Jason, gonna line up some guests, getting ready for the Wild West Shootout for that. So we'll get some guests coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Some big names coming out to the Wild West Shootout. So pretty excited for that deal. Obviously, then Christmas, holidays, we're gonna have some fun stuff, interacting. Steve and Jason going Christmas caroling. Who knows? It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a lot of awesome, fun content coming out.
We are going to rock the Christmas caroling this year. Maybe we'll go top hat.
Oh, top hat, nice. I'm just gonna go Santa hat.
No, dude, you gotta be like old school, like 18 whatever.
1800.
We gotta figure out how to do fake snow on us while we stand there and sing.
I'll just grab a bag and just throw it up in the air.
Yeah,
while
but we
sing.
can't be singing because we gotta be all into it. Like,
No, we will be. We'll just have somebody else behind. Like, here, kid. When we hit this line, just throw it at us.
yeah, exactly. Boof.
Thanks.
Like, we're like all wet, like it's real snow. Wait, man, vacuum that up for the next house.
We just ice shaved it from the freezer.
Yeah, exactly. Put a lot of effort into that. Don't hit the ground and it'll melt.
throw ice at us, kid.
It's 60 degrees outside.
Thanks.
Oh lordy. But yeah, so we got some ideas coming up for some original content. Kind of make some fun times over the stressful Christmas holidays for everybody.
These stressful Christmas holidays, indeed. As tomorrow is the countdown. 25 days until Christmas.
Kids informed me this morning that there's 26 days left.
Well, there you go. Better get your holiday shopping. Let's go to the mall.
Yeesh. We had that discussion earlier. Like, what do you get kids that have everything already? My God.
Gift cards.
Yeah, right. Yes. You don't get 10, 7-year-old gift cards.
I guarantee you get Ethan some V-Bucks.
Well,
He'll be your friend for life.
Exactly, right? So,
Get him some Fortnite shit. You'll be good.
No kidding there, man. No kidding there.
Anyways, thanks for listening. God bless you. God bless the troops. And God bless America.